We're still very early in the 2021 NBA season right now, but it's undeniable that we can pick up on a few promising signs for the future based on the performances we've seen so far, and especially with the rookie class of new players beginning their careers, we can get a good gist of the kind of players that they are, and for those that have looked impressive, we can definitely give them some props for their play. This brings us to the topic of today's video, where we'll be discussing 5 rookies in particular who, throughout the draft process before they started their careers, were fairly slept on to varying degrees, and so far, it looks like they're ready to prove to everyone that they are much better than most believed beforehand. Before we get started though, it turns out about 67% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I would also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first rookie we'll be discussing that has come out and proven a lot of the skeptics wrong about him is Tyrese Haliburton of the Sacramento Kings, who has even been one of the best rookies overall so far for the year. Haliburton is someone that was actually seen by most draft analysts as a top 10 prospect, and most mock drafts had him firmly in the top 10 as well, but when draft night came along, for some inexplicable reason, he slipped all the way down to the end of the lottery, getting picked 12th overall. The reason he may have slipped in the draft is because while he was notably a very talented and well-rounded player in college, he wasn't necessarily great at any one thing, and as a point guard, he's not necessarily the kind of player that you run the offense through, as he's more of a glue guy connector on offense that just makes everything around him work at a high level by doing all of the little things. And the thing is that players like these may not put up the eye-popping numbers you want from a top pick, but they impact winning basketball games far more than others whose production may be more empty even if it looks better on paper. Even now on the Kings, Haliburton's averages of about 11 points and 4 assists per game don't necessarily stand out much, but if you've actually watched the team play and you've seen them get off to a pretty decent start so far, you would know how much can be attributed to Haliburton. He's a phenomenal passer of the basketball who makes very smart decisions with the ball in his hands. He's a top-tier defender already, and while he may not be a creative scorer, he's a highly efficient one that comes through in big moments for them. He very well might be the biggest steal of the draft so far, and he's off to a flying start. The next rookie we'll be discussing that has certainly outplayed expectations early on is Emmanuel Adebayo of the New York Knicks. Adebayo was a late first-round pick this year, taken 25th overall, and on the Knicks, at least early on, he really didn't come in with many expectations. The team has a crop of young point guards that were ahead of him, but with both Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. both battling with injuries early on, he's gotten a chance to play more lately, and in the opportunities he's gotten, he's outplayed both of them. Both Ntilikina and Smith Jr. are in contract years, with this being a potential tone-setting season for the rest of their careers, but Adebayo has come in and put real pressure on the coaching staff to play him over both of them. In only about 15 minutes of play per game, he's averaging an impressive 10 points per game, and he's coming off of a 16-point game against the Atlanta Hawks, where he made several big plays down the stretch to help the Knicks pull off the upset win. His speed is his best asset, he's very smooth and crafty when he attacks off the dribble, and he's not intimidated by the big moments, like many other rookies in his position would be. Hopefully the Knicks do the right thing and continue to play him more and allow him to develop within the rotation, because they got a good one at the end of the first round this year. The next slept-on rookie we'll be discussing that has been highly impressive to start the year is Tyrese Maxiell of the Philadelphia 76ers, who slipped all the way down to the 21st pick in the draft. Maxey had lottery-caliber talent in college, but his draft stock took a bit of a hit because of his inconsistency from the three-point line, seeing as he is a shot-creating guard by nature. Additionally, he is admittedly somewhat small for a combo guard at 6'2", however, while most draft scouts seem to always over-exaggerate the concerns that they have with players and their measurables, the simple fact of the matter is that Maxey had an NBA-ready skill set that he's showing in the Sixers rotation right now. The Sixers are a team with lofty expectations and a strong rotation, so Maxey doesn't necessarily have a big role at the moment, but in the opportunities he gets each game, he makes his presence felt by putting putting constant pressure on the defense with his aggressive and crafty ball handling ability, and his highly advanced ability to finish through contact and over contests because of his soft touch around the rim. Yes, his perimeter shooting does still need work some from the three-point line, but I'm not really concerned with that at the moment because he has a very fluid shooting stroke and he works incredibly hard off the court to improve in that area. He gives the Sixers shot creation off the bench that they previously lacked and has unlocked parts of the second unit that the team so desperately needed. The next slept-on rookie we'll be discussing that has been proving his worth far past his expectations is Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies. Bane was the last pick of the first round this year, just barely avoiding slipping into the second round, and with Memphis, he's been able to translate to the next level seamlessly. Before the draft, Bane was labeled as one of the biggest sharpshooters in the class, but his lack of versatility as a wing player limited his upside in the eyes of many scouts. However, what continuously gets overlooked is the fact that shooting will never not be a valuable thing in the NBA amongst role players, and those that can confidently launch them up in high volume and knock them down efficiently will always have a role. Ever since Ja Morant went down with an injury for the Grizzlies, Desmond Bane has seen an increase in minutes, and he's played so well in these few games that Coach Jenkins of the Grizzlies has even said recently he's considering moving Bane to the starting lineup. Ever since that injury, Bane has scored in double figures in 3 times in 4 games off the bench, and on the season as a whole, he's making an impressive 47% of his threes. His shooting has been paramount to the Grizzlies so far, and after finding a few hidden gems in the draft last year, the Grizzlies are starting to prove that they have a keen eye for talent all throughout the draft. And finally, the last slept-on rookie we'll be discussing that has been exceeding all expectations to this point is Payton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics. Pritchard had a terrific college career for Oregon, but like most 4-year college players that don't possess elite measurables and physical attributes, he dropped down to the end of the first round, being picked 26th overall. The Celtics are another talented team where opportunity will only be presented to those that earn it, so the fact that Pritchard has already begun to earn a role in the rotation speaks to how well he's translated to the NBA. Pritchard's poise as an initiator and his ability to take advantage of the looks he gets by scoring highly efficiently, making 54% of his shots and 42% of his threes to this point, has resulted in Brad Stevens trusting him more and more with each passing game. He's now coming off of a game most recently where he scored 23 points against the Toronto Raptors, and in general, the chemistry between him and Jason Tatum has resulted in those two being one of the team's best pairings in terms of net rating. Overall, these are all first-year players that didn't necessarily get a lot of the attention from the draft, but have been sneakily proving their worth. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below any other rookies you think fit into this category. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.